Alrighty. So we're gonna finish working with the fun they had today. That story that we've been reading. We are gonna use the story um, tomorrow for and Friday, I guess, as well for a writing assignment. But you're not writing an essay this week. You guys are gonna be writing like a short story, so it'll be fun and not research based. It's your own imagination this week. So I think it'll be more fun than all of the essays that you guys have been writing. So let's go ahead and head over to our story, the fun they had, and get that opened up. Also, just real quick, don't forget that these reading week things are like a little challenge that Miss Leonard is doing. We're going to have 5 days. So we had a Monday and a Tuesday one. Whenever I get the Wednesday one, I will post the reading week day 3. But you guys can do these. I don't know what the prize is. I'm also competing to see if I can win because I like to win things too. I have no idea how the prizes work. I just know that it's a challenge that we can all try. So, yeah, I don't think it matters what day you do them. I have no idea. So just if you haven't done them, work on them. They're kind of cool. The first one is a math one, and then the second one is a reading one. I think so, yeah. I don't know if it showed me if I unlocked the second lock, but if you submitted it and you got through things, then you've unlocked the second one, yeah. Okay, anyway, that was a little side note. Here is, let's open up our story and get going on that. Or, Yoshi, you can focus on yourself and get the story opened. Okay, then just focus on yourself. You don't need to comment on everything. So, story's open. Well, I have some of you guys just finishing getting that opened up. What is this story even about? What was the concept of it?
About the future.
About the future. What was happening in the future? They were reading a book. Why is that significant? Why does that matter?
Because in the past they know nothing about books.
Yeah, they haven't seen a book. Yeah, they haven't really ever seen a book. They're like, oh my God, it's a book. And the pages are old and yellow and probably really fragile. So they're like, holy cow, a real book. Because what do they read on instead?
Virtual.
A screen, virtual. Whatever technology they have is what they read on. They don't have physical books anymore. And then what do Tommy and Margie talk about in the story? Good. What school was like in the past? Well, I mean, we know what school is like in the past because we are technically the past for them, right? So the idea that the teachers are human and teach the students inside a classroom with paper and pencils normally. I know it's a little bit different right now, but we're under weird circumstances. But normally, you know, paper, pencil for the most part. You have books that you read. It's not virtual. We're leaning more towards the virtual now because of the coronavirus. And even before the coronavirus, some teachers, I used to use technology quite a bit in my classroom, even before the coronavirus happened. So depends on the teacher you had to before. But if you think about like the 80s or the 70s, they did not have the technology that we had. And that's about the time period that this short story was written. So we know what school was like. Huh? A little bit, yeah. Okay. And then what is their school like in the future? How is their school work?
Robots.
They have robots. And they have a teacher robot, right? And huh?
They're at home.
They're at home. Yeah, they're being taught by a robot at home, staring at a screen. Do they have a lot of human interaction, it seems? Not really. Because when you're here at school nowadays, right, you get to interact with people. Again, it's a little bit different because of the coronavirus, but in general, usually you get to interact with people more than normal, or more than the normal right now. But for the people in the future in this story, they basically just like sit at home in a room and stare at this computer screen all day. So it is a little bit like what we're doing right now. But again, we're in the times of a pandemic, so things have changed a little bit. We don't normally stare at a screen all day, right? Like if you think about last year or fourth grade, did you guys stare at a screen all day? Not really, right? So things have changed a little bit. Also, someone in the room has an echoey computer, so can we turn the sound down or off? There we go. Thank you. Charlie, did you have a question? Your hand was up. No? Okay. All right, so that's a little bit of a recap of our story. So today we are going to work under language development, and we're going to do two sections. We're going to start with the concept vocabulary, and then we're going to go down to conventions. So we're doing those two sections today. So let's start with our concept vocabulary. We had these three words: sorrowfully, loftily, and nonchalantly. If we click on them, sorrowfully was done with sadness. You're full of sorrow. You're sad. You're saying it's super sad. Not too happy about it, right? And then we had loftily. Loftily is in a superior manner. So you think about yourself as being better than someone. And when you're saying something to someone, you kind of talk down to them like they're not as good as you are. Okay? Kind of condescending, if you've ever heard that word. And then our last vocabulary word is nonchalantly, which was doing it really like unconcerned, like, yeah, whatever. I don't really care about that. I'm nonchalant. So we have these three words. Let's go ahead and answer these questions. It says, why these words? These three concept vocabulary words from the text are related to each other. With your group, we don't have a group, so ignore that part. Determine what these words have in common. How do these word choices add to the impact of the text? So first of all, what do these words have in common? They're all what?
Words.
Yes, they are all words, but let's go a little deeper than that.
No words that are highlighted.
No, not just that they're our vocabulary words, but what do the words themselves have in common?
Feelings.
They all have to do with feelings. They all have to do with feelings. So these are all ways that you can feel. You can feel sorrow. You can feel lofty, like you're better than someone. Or you can feel nonchalant, like you don't care about something. So these are ways to feel. Concept vocabulary under language development. And we're answering the first question there. Yeah, so language development, concept vocabulary, and all of these words have to do with feelings. Okay. And then it asks, how do these word choices add impact to the text? So why are these words important in the story? Yeah, it gives us an idea of how the characters feel. So these words give us, the reader, an idea about, about how the characters feel. So it kind of puts us in their mind a little bit, lets us know how they feel. Awesome. Good, good, good. I'll give you guys a minute to write this one down. Yeah, that's all we're writing in that text box. So yes, you can close it if you're done. Okay, about 30 more seconds. Is that enough time?
Yeah.
You just finish typing that out? Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close this. And then down below, we have a practice. It says to write a paragraph using the 3 concept vocabulary words. Your paragraph can be based on Asimov's characters and setting, or it can be a completely new paragraph. So you can use the ideas from the story to write a paragraph, or you can just write your own paragraph off the top of your head. But you need to write a paragraph, let's say 3 to 5 sentence paragraph using the words, okay?
Hi.
Morning. Liliana, we are working on the language development section, the concept vocabulary. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. We did the first one already about the words, and they just kind of have to do with feelings, and it gives us an idea of how the characters feel. And then right now, we are on the practice part. We're going to be writing a paragraph using our 3 vocabulary words. So I'll give you guys about, yeah, kind of connect them into a paragraph though too. So you need to write about 3 to 5 sentences using the vocabulary words. It can be a completely new paragraph, or you can base it off of the story that was already written. Yeah, if you want to write nonchalant instead of nonchalantly, that's fine. So yeah, as long as you use the root word of the vocabulary word, yeah, that's fine. All right, give you guys about 5 minutes on that one. Everybody was asking us virtual, so I'm giving you all people candy. Good job.
Can you go up a little bit?
I'm really gonna.
Yeah. Well, not everyone.
Well, that's not everyone. Everyone is. Everybody that's in person.
I'm not saying before.
Miss Jones?
Yeah.
Can you go up a little bit?
Yeah. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, don't get distracted though. Keep working. You still gotta write your paragraph. Give you guys about 4 minutes more.
Oh my God,
Hmm.
I get it. There's something in here. There's either fudge or brownie.
Okay,
Like there's something other than Hershey's in here.
that's good. I don't know what it is, so
That's pretty good.
I mean it's a piece of chocolate, so yes, it is pretty solid. Yeah. Okay, about 3 more minutes.
Is it like those? I opened it back up where it was.
Nice.
Hello?
Now you gotta try and give it to someone so they think that you're giving them candy.
But everybody uses the word. And make them mad, but it's pretty hard. I mean, it's all hard. It's all stale. Probably melted.
All right, so keep writing that paragraph.
What you said was the second too?
It says motion, right? That's paragraph.
They open it. Hey. No, you can't. They crush it.
Okay, about one more minute and then we're gonna move on to the next section. All right, let's go ahead and close that one. If you need to finish it up, just keep that in mind that you got to go finish your little paragraph there. I'm going to go ahead and close the concept vocabulary. And the only other section that we're going to do today is conventions. We're going to be talking about some verbs here today. So we have action verbs and linking verbs. Two types of verbs here. Verbs are an essential element of all sentences and clauses. Basically, in order to have a complete sentence, you need a noun and a verb. If you don't have one of those, you don't have a complete sentence. So the verb will express an action or indicate a state or a condition. Two types of verbs. Action verb. An action verb can express a physical action, such as shake or laugh, or it can be a mental action, such as hope or learn. So it is something that you can do. Run, jump, kick, things like that. Things that you can actually do. And then a linking verb will connect the subject to a word in the predicate that renames, identifies, or describes it. Basically, though, the most common types of linking verbs are these. And I'm going to highlight them because these are the ones that you're going to see that you're like, okay, that's a linking verb. It's basically it's not an action. It's any sort of verb that is just like a be, like you're there. It's there. So something like be or are, is, was, were, is being, have been, am is one. So things like that. Things that don't show an actual action, but you know that it's the verb, right? So Other common ones are going to be like feel or look, seem, become, appear. So those are the two types of verbs. Here's a little bit of a chart to kind of show them being used. Wow, that's so small. Okay, so action verbs being actually used. We have her mother had shaken her head. The action here is shaking. So it's an actual thing that you can do. You can shake your head. It's an action verb. The other one, all the kids laughed in the schoolyard. They are laughing. It's a thing that you can actually do, so it's an action verb. And then we have the linking verb. Tommy and Margie are students. The word are links the subject, Tommy and Margie, to what they are, students. So it's the word in between the two nouns. The word are is not something that you can actually do, so it's a linking verb. And then finally, we have the girl became curious about the old book. Became is the linking verb because it just kind of links together the girl being curious. Became is not something that you can like physically do, so it's a linking verb. Do we see the difference between the two types of verbs here? All right. So underneath that, we have a couple of things that you got to do. And this is all we're finishing up for today. So first, it says to identify the verbs in each sentence from the selection, and then label each as an action verb or a linking verb. So we are going to do the first one together. This does not need to be complete sentences because you're just identifying a word. So our first sentence says, Margie even wrote about it that night in her diary. What is the verb? Wrote. Well, the verb itself is wrote. That's the verb. And then we need to decide if it's an action verb or a linking verb. Action. Why?
Because you're doing something physically.
Good, because you can physically write something, so it's an action verb. And that's what you need to do. Yeah, you can write that. That's the answer number one. No, you don't need to rewrite the sentence because all you need to do is tell me what the verb is and what type of verb it actually is. So that's number one. Right there, that's 2 points. If you wrote that down, that's 2 points on this assignment. So I hope you did it. I need you guys to work on 2, 3, and 4. No, sorry.
Doesn't it have more than one?
Nope, there's only one verb in number 2. There's only one verb in number 3, and there's only one verb in number 4. So there's one verb in each of these, but each one is worth 2 points because you need to tell me what the verb is and what type of verb it is. So I'm going to give you guys about 4 or 5 minutes to do numbers 2 through 4. Okay.
Verbs be like 3 words.
No, not usually. It can sometimes be 2 words. If you don't see one that is clearly an action verb, then look for a linking verb.
What do we do at number 4? You find the verb, and tell you what the verb is. Well, it sounds like telling us to put in the homework. My professor was there's only one word left before that, you have to test yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's do about 1 more minute and then I'll explain the next part. All right. So our next one is a little bit of a imagination, fun writing, not just write a paragraph. So this one says, imagine that you are Margie's friend in the year 2155. So you're in the future. Write a journal entry describing your feelings about your mechanical teacher. So how do you feel about your mechanical teacher? And it wants you to use at least 3 action verbs, so like actually doing something. And it wants you to use 2 linking verbs. When you write those, can you bold or underline them so it's easy to see? So if you say, I hate my mechanical teacher, you can use this as a starting sentence if you want. What is the verb here? I hate my, yeah, hate is the verb here, and that's an action verb. And in order to highlight it, you just highlight it, click bold, maybe underline, bold and underline. That works. It's easier to find that way. That's fine, and you can italicize if you want. But just make it clear to me what your verbs are so it's easier to see. So you need to write like a paragraph maybe to tell me how you feel about having a mechanical teacher, and highlight or underline your verbs, please. And that's actually all we're doing today for ELA. We'll do more tomorrow with this. You can turn this in because you can still see the story after you turn it in. So you're more than welcome to turn this in when you're done. We will do the writing on a separate thing, but you can use the story for your writing tomorrow. So you just need to finish up this conventions, and you are good to go until math, which is at 10 o'clock. So those of you online, do the conventions, and we'll see you at 10 for math. Those of you here, do the conventions and work on something else that you might be missing.
Okay, bye.
Bye. And those of you that are online, if you're missing things, I would check your grades and get those completed, because again, Thursday at 3 o'clock is the last time I'm accepting anything. If you don't have it turned in by Thursday at 3, I'm not grading it. So,
Okay.
okay, so you guys can head out and work on those things if you need to. We'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.